All right, guys, welcome back to the preview episode of the Left Side View. So today we will preview the weekend matches in EPL as well as La Liga. All right, Amitabh.
Hi guys, hope everyone is doing well. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope the New Year brings in great luck and prosperity to one and all. Okay, so the first match that we'll be having from the English Premier League on New Year is a good one actually. Arsenal against Manchester City. Arsenal are playing at home. Um, Given the recent form of Arsenal, I think there is a little bit of optimism in the Gunners camp that maybe they can do well in this match. I don't know what well is. Maybe it is a draw. Of course, they would like to win and get all 3 points. But City have won their last 10 matches on the bounce, and it is difficult to see them dropping points against anyone. I mean, they are playing like such a well-oiled machine. Everybody knows what the other person is going to do. They can predict the movement, the shot, the thinking of their teammates. And no matter which team Guardiola chooses for any match, the understanding is like it is surreal, quite frankly. I mean, it just shows the amount of work they have done on the training ground. I mean, we can say that yes, they have bought the best players and yes, this and that, everything. But that level of performance does not come from money alone. They have really worked hard at their game, and yeah, Arsenal have their own vein of rich form of late, and they are doing well. But again, um, it's really difficult to see any team getting past City right now with the kind of form that they are in. Rahul, your views?
So there's one thing that you've not mentioned is the fact that if I'm not wrong, their manager Mikel Arteta has actually tested positive for COVID, so he's not going to be in the dugout for this match.
Yes,
So
he
let's
will
see if
not.
that plays a part. Maybe that could be a blessing in disguise for Arsenal because ever since he has joined Arsenal, from City, he's not really had a good record against Guardiola for some reason. I mean, not for some reason. I mean, the main reason is because City are such a good side. But
Yeah.
yes, maybe that will play a huge part. Uh, and I, yeah, like you said, that if this was uh, some time ago or this was any other season, that we would just say that it's a comfortable City win. But yes, because of the form that Arsenal are in right now, I think the youngsters, that they have, Martinelli, rich vein of form. Emil Smith Rowe, 3 games in a row, he's come off the bench and he scored goals.
Yes.
Striker, even without Aubameyang, I think Lacazette has been providing that leadership. The signings that they have made, Ben White, Omayisu, again, they just look so composed in a way. But I again, the problem at this point in time is the rising number of cases. So you don't know who's gonna test positive. Let's say between today and tomorrow, that could change the entire complexion of the game. Because if I'm not wrong, even in their last match, I mean, Arsenal already had one game postponed, I think against Wolves midweek because of
Yes.
COVID, and then before that, the game that they played, I think even then they had a couple of players test positive. I remember, I think Toma Yusuf being one of those players. So if that was the case, then I'm not really sure if he will be back for this game. So that again could play a huge part because no matter how good Arsenal are playing right now, but I do feel like they don't have the biggest of squads. Unlike Manchester City, uh, I mean Pep Guardiola can easily just not select someone like Phil Foden and Jack Grealish like he did after like he did last weekend, because those two went out uh, after one of the games.
Yeah.
And Guardiola said that he during the Christmas time he picks players not just based on form but also their off-field behavior. But that's not really something that Arsenal can do.
Yes. 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 So again, I mean, I'm not hoping any ill will for City, but in this time when almost all the teams have been struggling with COVID, City seems to be the only team that has been spared from this problem. And Yeah, let's see what team turns up for Arsenal yesterday tomorrow. But again, even if they have their best team on form, if the same is the case with City, I think City wins hands down. So when it comes to prediction, I think it will be City win 3-1. What do you say, Rahul?
Yes, like that's the thing. No matter what we say about Arsenal's current rich vein of form, but the fact that City have become so dominant, in the way that they are playing, it doesn't matter who they play. It's like even if they were playing against the a really good side, which Arsenal in a way have become, but City are like the best team in the world right now. So yeah, I do expect them to win.
Any
Like even
predictions?
now, I won't say 3-1, but I think it'll be 2-1.
2-1? Okay.
2-1, yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the next match. Leicester against Norwich has already been postponed. Watford against Tottenham. So Tottenham drew their last match against Southampton. Watford lost to West Ham. Um, your views, Rahul, along with predictions?
I think again, this game is in a way more important for Watford than it is for Tottenham. But then again, we have to take into account that Tottenham will, in a way, have an eye on their match against Chelsea now, the first leg of the semi-final of the EFL Cup. Um, but yes, and also because Tottenham were only able to were only able to get a draw against Southampton, so they would not want uh, to get too much behind right now because considering the form that Chelsea are in right now, both the teams that are just behind Chelsea, that is Arsenal and Tottenham, they've actually got a really good chance of finishing in the top four. So they would not want to drop points. I mean, on top of that, all of a sudden, Harry Kane has started scoring goals as well. Plus, Tottenham
Lucas
Conte
Moura.
had already Lucas Moura again. But then
Yeah.
again, I think we kind of had a feeling, that Lucas Moura is in a way an Antonio Conte player.
Yes.
He is someone who just runs, which is which is in a way one of the first requirements
Yeah,
for
to
an
play under
Antonio
Conte.
Conte
Yeah.
team. Yeah. And now that the fact that Harry Kane has also started scoring goals, and it's like you mentioned earlier, it's 1st of January tomorrow, so uh, Tottenham would expect to make signings. I think that would have been one of the conditions, given that Conte would have put in, because of the way that he signed for Tottenham. Had he maybe signed at the beginning of the season, it would have been different. He maybe did not. He wouldn't really hold so much power leverage. But the way that he joined, that Tottenham did not sign him, sign Nuno instead, and then it didn't work out with Nuno, and then they went back to Conte. So
Yeah.
his leverage and power just increased so much more.
Yes.
So I do think that he is in a much better position now to demand things, not just ask for things. And I do think that he would have already demanded and asked for signings. But yes, if Watford again, even though they're right now out of relegation zone, they are 17th at the moment. But Burnley, who are 2 points behind them, have played one game less than Watford. So it is very close. They do need to give their all in a game like this. So really hard to predict because you never know what happens in a game wherein one team is battling to avoid relegation. But obviously, on paper, you would predict Tottenham to win this game.
Yes. Coming back to Moura, I think it just shows how the performances of any player changes if they are given just that slight bit of confidence by the manager. Yes, the both teams have something to play for tomorrow, but given the form, the personnel, I think Spurs will have enough to take care of Watford tomorrow. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Spurs. Your prediction now?
So you've been getting a little bit of these predictions right. You got the Sevilla versus Barcelona one right. You also got the Granada versus Atletico prediction right.
Yeah, I mean, See, we play by probabilities. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Had I been so sure of my talent, I would have actually gone to those betting sites. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I also expect Tottenham to win. Let's say 2-1. Let's say 2-1.
Okay. Okay. The late night kickoff for us, at least, the tea time kickoff for England, Palace against West Ham, one of those low tea London derbies. We'll just go with the predictions here. Palace at home. What do you think, Rahul? Who are you supporting or thinking that
I
will
think it's a
win?
draw. I think it's a draw, and I think it's a draw. Hopefully, Conor Gallagher scores.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's go for a Palace win tomorrow. Okay, 1-0.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Coming to the Sunday's match, Brentford against Aston Villa. Now, Villa's last match was against us, where Gerrard was not on the touchline. Brentford's last match was against Manchester City, which they lost to. Both high-flying teams, Brentford at home. I see this match as I don't know, a draw maybe, one
Yeah,
all.
I think another one of those games, like a proper Premier League game, wherein
Yeah,
you would think that it's two teams in the bottom of the table, but then the beauty of the Premier League, I think, we will see the beauty of the game here. It could be a great game. Even I think what I'm trying to say is that even if it's a draw, I think it's going to be an entertaining draw.
entertaining game,
That's
of
what.
course, of
Yeah,
course, of course. Both the teams will not hold back, and
yeah.
they'll go for the win. Let's see what happens. The next match is Everton against Brighton. Brighton of their 1 point against us. Now they are away at the Toffees. Are you supporting Benitez team here?
No, I'm not. It could be a draw. I think another draw. I feel like depends on the team that Everton put out because they've had a couple of injury concerns and COVID cases. So yes, they've really had a diminished squad. So that also
Yeah,
makes a lot of difference. If they are anywhere close to a full strength side, but then that's the thing with Brighton as well. If they're having a great match, I mean, they can play really well against a team like Chelsea, and then the next day they can play against a team like Everton and lose 2 or 3-0, which is which is why it's really hard to predict a game, that involves a team like Brighton or Everton for that matter.
yeah, yeah. I totally get that. Everton at home, Brighton away. I really don't know. I'm sitting on the fence here again.
Yeah,
The next match. Oh my God. So these are the two teams who play absolutely opposite philosophy of football. Leeds against Burnley. So Sean Dyche against Bielsa. Leeds at home. They've had a horrendous run of form of late. Let's see if New Year ushers in new luck and prosperity for them. Um, I know this is too early to start talking about transfers, but there are so many teams who are in need of so many players right now, and historically, January is not really the time where a lot of deals happen. At least a lot of big deals happen. So let's see which of the teams go out and try to plug in the gaps that they have in the squad right now. For Leeds against Burnley, I'm going for a Leeds win, 2-0. Rahul?
a draw again for some reason. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that most of these matches are going to be draws.
Okay. Okay.
And I know I'll be wrong. I know.
Okay. Let's wait for Sunday to see. Then the Southampton Newcastle match is again postponed, and finally the big one for the weekend: third against second, Chelsea against Liverpool. Uh, where do we start, Rahul, on this?
So there's so many talking points, when it comes to this game. Uh, the form that Chelsea are in, players getting injured, COVID cases, and if that was not enough, now quotes from our star striker, star signing Romelu Lukaku have come out, where he's like, "Inter Milan is in my heart." I want to go back, not when I'm past my prime, but when I'm good enough to play for them. I'm not
And
happy
for
with my
them.
situation at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Those things are not right. And obviously, Thomas Tuchel now, which is obviously like the journalists would ask these questions. Like that would be the first question that they would ask, and this is what happened. But then I really am falling in love with the way Tuchel handles the media. He didn't. I mean, he no matter what happens behind closed doors, and even if he has to shout at Lukaku, he can do that. But he doesn't really show the media that that's what he is thinking. At least in front of the media, the way he plays everything, he is still so calm. So yes, he even his quote that it is noise that we don't want.
Yeah.
He says his point, but without sounding angry.
Yes. So to start off, let me just say that this was absolutely unnecessary from Lukaku. I mean, of late we have been facing so many issues: injuries, COVID, the fixture schedule, performances, results. I mean, we really have been struggling. And to go for this interview, I mean, what we have learned so far is this interview was recorded 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they have aired it today in Europe. They aired a snippet yesterday, the 3 minute, 11-second video where all these statements were made. And one thing that people in and around Lukaku, I mean, people who have known Lukaku for a long time have always said that he has a big mouth. And some of the players from this generation, I mean, a lot of the players actually, somehow they bring a lot of grief upon themselves by saying unnecessary things at the wrong time. And this was just a classic case of that happening. But again, the way Tuchel handled the questions regarding this today in the press conference, it was like so calm, so level-headed. He said he's waiting for the context and whatever he has to say to Lukaku or his representatives, he'll say it to them in private, not through the media. And nobody in the building knew that Lukaku is unhappy and stuff like that. But see, Lukaku has not set the world alight once he has been back. In fact, many would suggest that he is also part of the problem that we have. And with him going out and making these statements, he'll not make a lot of friends by saying the stuff that he has. It is okay. I mean, we all want the players to be honest and say what they feel, but they cannot be mindless in what they say. They have to be a little prudent. I mean, even if you were saying this 2 or 3 weeks ago when you were not part of the team, and of course, there is a way of articulating things, and there's no problem in saying that Inter is in his heart and he would like to go there and stuff like that. But
I mean, obviously, you can't say that Inter is in your heart when you've been saying all along that Chelsea is the club of my life. I would have not left Inter Milan for any other club. It's the club that I supported as a kid.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
so contradictory.
why would you say stuff like, I mean, even if you want, if you say that you want to go to Inter Milan and you want to end your career there, you everything, all of that is okay. But see, the most important thing is timing. Had he been scoring goals and you know that the media is going to pick it up and somehow this will derail the team even more. So they must have pre-decided when the interview will be aired, and he must have known what he's saying at the time when he was speaking such things. And but I somehow have this belief that all this negative energy that is there around our team, uh, somehow it will lead to good result on Sunday. At least I don't know. I believe in that. I'm not hoping for it. I believe that everything that has gone on, especially with the injury to Reece James now, uh, somehow our team will rally back and they'll put in a shift on Sunday. Um, at home, I am going for a Chelsea win actually, 1-0. Rahul?
I would love to see a 1-0 Chelsea win, to be honest. I would love to see a clean sheet. Uh, I think, yes, we have to take into account that uh, even Klopp mentioned today in his press conference that he's also had, I think, 3 new cases uh, of COVID. So he did
Yes.
not mention who those players are, but yes. So I think that's another factor that could play in our uh, to our strengths in a way. Um,
Yeah,
on
he
top of
has
that,
not named the players. He said that he'll name the players closer to match day. Yeah.
on top of that, I would like to go back to the Lukaku part. Just imagine, by saying all these things, how much pressure he's actually put on himself. What if in this game now he's not able to get past Virgil van Dijk, and he has such a poor game? How is that going to make him feel? I think now that he has talked the talk, he needs to walk the talk. He needs to have a really good game against Virgil van Dijk against Liverpool this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so without both our first choice fullbacks, yeah, I think it's gonna be a draw. Like that's what my head says. Obviously, my heart would always say I want Chelsea to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Any score that
Let's
you
see.
would predict? Will it be
Let's say a 1-1 draw.
okay?
I think we're still without Kai Havertz, Loftus Cheek as well. Even Thiago Silva, I think, is not going to be fit. I'm actually surprised that no one asked Tuchel about Thiago Silva if he's fit or not. But that, yeah, if he's
Uh,
out, then
that
that's
was
three.
that was not the hot topic for today, na? Who
Yeah,
cares? Who cares about the team when there is a controversy going
but
on?
but but that's the thing, against uh, like again, maybe I'm hoping for this. Obviously, I don't want anyone to have COVID, but then if at least 2 out of those 3 players that have got COVID are at least Salah, Mane, or Jota. But like I don't care who else has got COVID in a way. But if Liverpool have these 3 players fit, Allison fit, and Virgil van Dijk fit, they will beat Chelsea. But if it's at least 2 of these 5 players, then I would say Chelsea have a chance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the matches are on Sunday, and today being Friday, a lot can change before now and the match day. So,
Exactly. Plus, you never know. Maybe we'll have more cases by then. Plus, the fact if it's Liverpool who will have cases, then this match might just get postponed. Unlike when Chelsea asked the FA for postponement, that never happens. But if all of a sudden Liverpool have uh, new cases, then it might just get postponed. So let's see.
yeah, I mean, I don't understand the way the matches were postponed, especially United and Liverpool's matches. Did they actually mean that they don't have 13 fit players for the match, including a
I
goalkeeper?
think it was not about those. So it was not that Liverpool or United. I think it was about the other teams. I think they did not have enough players. So obviously, if let's say Chelsea are playing Liverpool, and if Liverpool don't have
Okay,
enough
okay.
players, then obviously Chelsea will also not
So
have enough
all
players.
the matches that were postponed, United and Liverpool's, it was due to the other team, right?
I think Liverpool's Leeds. It was Leeds that did not have enough players.
Okay,
Uh, Even I think Liverpool, and the same I think with United as well.
okay, okay.
But
Got it.
but in a way, United did have a bigger scare in terms of uh, COVID cases. They were, I
Okay.
think, one of the first teams this season, at least, in the Premier League to have an outbreak.
Yes, after the match against Norwich, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So that brings us to the end of the EPL preview. The La Liga restarts again, and on Sunday we have all the big teams in action. We start off with Getafe against Real Madrid. Rahul.
Yeah, I think again, we were hoping to not see this, but then uh, all these leagues that are returning to action, all these players, that had a winter break, now enjoyed, during Christmas time, and all these teams they are reporting the COVID cases. So even Real Madrid, I think, are without 3 or 4 players. I think Thibaut Courtois has tested positive. Federico Valverde, I think, second time. Even Vinicius Junior has tested positive. Plus, by the time this match takes place, you never know how many more players, hopefully not, will test positive. So that's again, the whole dynamic in a way has changed this season. You just can't actually preview a match. Like
Yeah,
you have to think so much about COVID instead of the actual tactical battles and the players. So
yes,
again, on paper, you would expect Real Madrid to win.
yeah,
Maybe
but
this is a fixed line that we'll have we'll have to attach with every preview that we do now.
yeah. I mean, every prediction, every preview will have conditions concerned and susceptibility to COVID is again not
Yeah.
assumed at the time of preview. Um, yeah, on paper, Madrid should have it easy, but let's see which team turns up. The next one, Atletico against Rayo Vallecano. Rahul?
Yeah, I think that's probably an underrated fixture this weekend because Rayo Vallecano, I think, just promoted from Segunda División. They've already risen up to fourth in the table, and I read a stat that they've got one of the best home forms this season across all the top 5 European leagues. They've got a 39-year-old player, a striker scoring goals for them. Yeah, they have, I think, the most surprising team of the season award, or at least of the half season, I think, goes to Rayo Vallecano. They're above Atletico Madrid, the defending champions, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and then, sorry.
do you see Vallecano winning this one away?
I would want to hear your prediction here. I think because you've been getting
Uh,
your Atletico predictions right.
I don't think Atletico will get off to a great start in the new year. I mean, there are problems in that team, in that squad, that have not been tackled properly. And when there is a total breakdown of communication, the results are there for everyone to see. I think Simeone has been a little adamant, and somehow they used to play in a particular style, but then they wanted to, have a lot more flair in their performance. They went out, bought players with such skill set, and then Cholo wants them to do what he wants his team to do. So I think there's a mismatch of ideologies there. Um, I think Vallecano edges this 1-0 or 2-1.
All
Again,
right, so
as I said about that Granada match, I mean, it is no longer about the opponents now. Atletico Madrid are in self-destruct mode.
self-destruct
So
mode. Okay.
yeah. So now,
Okay, so guys, I think just to be different, from Amitabh, I'll predict an Atletico win.
yeah, at least one of
Maybe
us will be right.
winter break will, yeah, maybe one of maybe or maybe both will be wrong. It will be a draw.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, let's move on.
Okay. The next match, Mallorca against Barcelona.
Mhm.
Uh, have they registered Ferran Torres, or are they waiting to ship out some players before they can register him? No.
So it's a
Okay.
bit of both. I think they are waiting to register players. At the same time, I think he's not even fit yet. He was already injured when they signed him.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
I don't think he's ready. He's ready to play. But yeah, I think in this match we can actually predict, or at least I think that it's going to be a Mallorca win. Again, it's not about who Barcelona are playing right now. It's more about Barcelona. They've got again so many players out with injury and COVID. Again, so many players who have come back from the winter break have tested positive. I don't even remember all the names because there are so many. I think Jordi Alba, Longley, so many as Abde. I think there are so many players who have tested positive on top of the players who are already injured. I think Pedri and Fati are back in training, but again, they have been missing for too long. I don't really think that they'll start. You never know, maybe, but like Tuchel has done at Chelsea, that he's had to start players who are not fit. So maybe that's what Javi will do. Otherwise, the team that Barcelona will field, in my opinion, that team will not be good enough as compared to their actual starting 11. Plus, yes, you would expect them to make more signings as well. I'm not even sure where they're getting the money from, you know, to
They
sign
have
Ferran
to
Torres.
they have to sell some assets, and I think Serginho Dest is on his way out of the club. Bayern Munich are looking at trying to buy him. Again, there is always that perennial question of whether Coutinho leaves or not. But then, who is going to match the wages that he is on at Barcelona? There's
Same with Umtiti.
Umtiti, yeah, he has been linked to Newcastle. So let's see, let's see. I think there'll be a little more action this winter break, this winter transfer window, because there are a lot of clubs who are in dire need of a lot of players. So maybe some merry-go-round will happen. Yeah, I just hope that we sign the
Uh,
right players. Yeah.
we can probably talk a little bit about Sergio Dest. I think if you remember when he left Ajax, uh, it was actually between two clubs. It was actually between Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and he chose Barcelona then
He chose poorly.
poorly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Your
Um,
predictions for this match, Amitabh?
I see. I was not aware of the COVID thing that the
Okay.
Spanish league players are suffering from. So if Barcelona is as depleted as you are saying right now, so it is
Mhm.
difficult to. But again, Mallorca is in the lower half of the league, so not really sure where to go here. Maybe it will be a goalless or a
Yeah,
1-1 draw.
they are 15th in the table.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Moving,
really hard to see a Barcelona victory. So yeah, I think I agree with you.
moving on Monday, we have Cadiz against Sevilla. Sevilla, who are second in the championship table. Manchester United have actually rejected their advancement for Anthony Martial.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe they'll try again for a striker. There are talks of Luke Dion going back, stuff
Going
like
back.
that. Yeah, I mean his 6 months at Barcelona has not been successful, to put it mildly. And Cadiz, their last performance against the top club Real Madrid, they drew. So yeah, one of the games to watch out for. I think Sevilla should win this. So I'm
Yeah,
going for a 2-1.
yeah, I agree. I think obviously on paper, like you mentioned, Sevilla are second from top, and Cadiz are second from bottom. So on paper, it's not a match. It's a mismatch totally.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, like you mentioned, that Cadiz in their last match managed to get a draw away to Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. So, but I don't know why. Maybe it's like, some teams have some bogey teams. So maybe for Real Madrid it was Cadiz, but I don't think that, I think we will see a return to normalcy in this match. And from what I have read till now, I don't really think that there is anything like a case of COVID in this match for these teams as it is for Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Okay. Okay. So we're going for a Sevilla win.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the preview of the weekend matches, guys. We also have Coupe de France in the French league. So yeah, that's about it in this podcast. Thank you so much for your time. Take care and happy New Year once again. Bye bye.
Yes, guys. Happy New Year.